display. The range is 225 meters, closing rate 04.
Let's take a look at what else we can expect to see today.
Now we have roll.
Great views of the Soyuz itself from the high-definition cameras on the outside of the international views. As we're in orbital daytime, we're expecting a sunset around 8:02 p.m. Central Time.
Shortly after liftoff, Delta IV begins a pitch and forward rotation on all flight status while minimizing the pressure. Delta IV reaches Mach 1 speed 7.
The range is
During a season, double
good luck.
protected.
You can,
You can see the Soyuz vehicle looking steady at this time. The vehicle itself is in station keeping
Approaching main
mode.
engine cutoff, Delta IV is burning propellant at a rate of 990
Just under
we are
200 meters from the International Space Station. Everything's looking good so far.
is activated standing at 17
Delta
command.
IV separation system activated. Vehicle now weighs a little more than 9% of its second stage WGS. In 4 minutes 15 seconds, the second stage main engine commences. The second stage.
The time 03:52:27. The range is 114 meters. Closing rate 068.
Flight. Cut off of the main engine for MECO 1 engines. Mission
Closing
now.
in at a rate of just under 0.7 meters per second.
The engine is restarting for a 3-minute 20-second burn.
Soyuz about 100 meters away from the station at this time.
36 minutes 50 seconds.
Once it gets a little bit closer to the station, it'll have at the time slowing down to less than half a meter per second at this time.
Which is added to the payload.
Everything looking good. Soyuz and the International Space Station about to cross the Terminator line.
Which is added to the
Still should have a little bit of sun illuminating the spacecraft.
There are 10 stars organized around the perimeter to reflect the 10 WGS missions. The Hang 10 and Shaka Hand pastime pay homage to Boeing's Southern California Satellite Production Center. At the bottom, the local pastime of Hang 10 goes At the bottom we read, "For the Warfighter." Finally, to remind us that the impact
And you heard it there, contact and capture. 8:01 p.m. Central Time. The International Space Station time was 255 statute miles just west off the coast of Peru.
by a 5-meter diameter payload fairing. Final launch preparations began on
And with that, you have good confirmation. The hooks are closed. Soyuz MS-12 and the 3 crew members
On February 26th, the encapsulated payload fairing was transported to the Mobile Service Tower, or MST, at Space Launch Complex 37, and made it to the Delta IV rocket. Approximately 9.5 hours ago, final preparations began at Space Launch Complex 37, using 40 hydraulic cylinders at pressures nearing 3,500 psi. The 10 million pound MST
Nick Hague and Christine
is augmenting. Later in the broadcast, we'll learn more about the WGS mission when I'm joined by Tim Maurer, Boeing software engineer, and Sam Wiley, U.S. Air Force Chief of Business Operations. Also, make sure to stay tuned after launch because Sam, Wiley, and I will be hosting trivia on Twitter, featuring questions about past WGS missions. A few minutes after liftoff, questions will be posted on ULA's Twitter account, and the first person to comment on the question with the correct answer will receive a very special prize. Answers and winners will be announced shortly before spacecraft separation. In addition to watching our
Booster ignition. Terminal K, Christina Cook and Alexei Ovchinin now on their way to the International Space Station. 8,000 pounds of thrust from its 4 boosters in single engine. The first stage of the Soyuz measures 68 feet in length, 24 feet in diameter, with liquid fuel in the first 2 minutes 6 seconds of the flight.
Everything is normal on board. The crew is feeling great.
Is now traveling at more than
Colleague
1,000
friend
miles per
and
hour.
patriot.
Is
During his
phenomenal.
30-year
Copy all.
aerospace career,
This
Kurt
is
held
Berlitz
critical
1.
roles
Everything
on
is nominal
multiple
on board.
With the 4 strap-on boosters will continue to burn until 1 minute 58
Kurt was
seconds.
a
Good call that the escape tower has been jettisoned. On time, the 4 booster separations have been confirmed. That core stage continuing on as the second stage. The launch shroud
Separation is confirmed.
will be jettisoned at 2 minutes 37 seconds into the flight.
On board, the crew is feeling great.
Soyuz vehicle traveling well over 3,000 miles per hour.
140 seconds. The launch. Good core stage performance. The launch shroud has been jettisoned. The rocket is now at 48 miles high. The display 5 control
KL
descent
personnel, all steps are
display
complete prior to status check
activated,
except for the
illuminated, copy
troubleshooting
all.
we're working on with
See
the
ya.
pneumatic system.
All right.
180 seconds. The vehicle is stable.
Good report so far. This core stage will continue to burn until the 4 minute 43 second mark.
Extend the hold at
The
2
crew is
minutes.
feeling great.
Roger, concur.
Good reports from the crew. Over 3 minutes from launch, the Soyuz vehicle traveling about 5,000 miles per hour.
200 seconds. Second stage.
Soyuz core
thrusters
stage is
operating
performing as
properly.
expected. That core stage, 56 feet in length, 13.5 feet in diameter with a single
.330 seconds. Third
This
stage
time the Soyuz
thrusters
vehicle well over
operating
100 miles above the Earth.
as we remain in the planned
Copy
hold.
all.
We will continue to update you as information becomes available.
Dragon doesn't count down.
300
Time, the Soyuz called time-tagged commands allow many of the Soyuz systems to be automatically activated by onboard
We are working from page 35 of the
coming up in
Soyuz
about 15
ODF.
minutes or so. And
Copy.
Like we said, we can't show every part of this.
We
for
are
the
closing
mission, but
both
we are gonna be
RPVs,
listening to the flight
the
control
airflow
teams.
regulator,
have
and
one
we are
here
controlling
right behind
the
us in
TF
Hawthorne,
indicator
and the other
panels.
one, basically monitoring all Dragon systems.
Now, if
This
you've
is
been
Berlitz
following
1,
along
copy
so
all,
far this
Moscow.
morning, you might have seen us on the earlier webcast last night, this morning. It's hard to tell what time of day it is at this point.
Soyuz now in orbit, solar arrays deployed, and the Soyuz crew on their way to the International Space Station, docking just 6 hours from now. The Soyuz itself orbiting at an altitude of about 143 miles by 118 miles.
Also, this is Berlitz
The orbit
2.
will be raised systematically over the course of the next 2 days, placing it in close proximity to the International Space Station, systematically over the next 6 hours. The control of the spacecraft from here will be overseen from Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow, a view of what you're seeing now.
9, 4.
Those thrusters on Dragon, and that's just basically going to take it out of orbit. In the Atlantic for where we're landing a spacecraft built for humans for the first time in 50 years. So this is going to be a really exciting morning. And like I said, we'll be bringing you some pretty great views. The sun is up already over on the East Coast, so we'll have a nice daytime splashdown.
As someone who has seen this specific vehicle get built over the last couple of years, it's pretty incredible to, like I mentioned earlier in today's webcast, to actually see the astronauts on board the International Space Station floating in and out of the capsule as they were opening the hatch, and that was very exciting. For years now, because of those so many hours put into the spacecraft.
It almost out there. But I mean, since it's a part of that,
Roger, we
happened
picked,
early in the cruise day on board the space station, so they've since moved on to a bunch of other
Second
tasks. They actually woke up about an hour before Crew Dragon undocked, because they're operating on Greenwich Mean Time, so it was early in the morning for them. But
Roger.
they did offer some great words as Dragon
ACLC
undocked and
network.
flew away once it was outside of the
If you want.
Orchard ellipsoid.
Yes,
about
very
an hour or
limits
so
reporting
away from the International Space
alarm,
Station.
second station
And as Kate
officer,
said,
one tank,
executed all of its
thrust,
departure burns,
6
executed
million on
4
the
initial separation, basically taking it out the front and then up around and then finally out. I think it's the International Space Station is now on its orbit awaiting this truck separation.
So in terms of SpaceX history, this demonstration mission is incredible. It's, like I said, a demonstration of SpaceX headquarters is similarly the same demonstration mission of our cargo program that we've been operating for now. The Demo 1, the importance of today's mission.
And that capsule actually already has another mission. SpaceX is building to use electric acid and forecast. Looking a little bit later this year, between Demo 1, which we're about to wrap up today, and Demo 2, which will be the first flight that we actually have our astronauts ready for tests.
I wouldn't want to be involved with it, that's a lot of achievements, but
So basically just really putting the vehicle through all of the paces, all of these different abort tests, missions like this one right now, all ultimately with that goal of sending humans to the International Space Station on a Crew Dragon.
yeah. Something else really interesting about today's mission, and in fact
Is of the Soyuz MS-12 vehicle that lifted off on time, 2:14 p.m. Central Time, 12:14 a.m. local time, out in Baikonur, March 15th.
Today is really exciting. We're really pumped to bring you footage of our recovery team as we pull Dragon out of the Atlantic Ocean. It's a lot of firsts today. Been a lot of firsts all week, and to say the adrenaline
1 minute
is
45
pumping
seconds
around
from
here
flight.
is an understatement.
Yeah,
From launch, the umbilical towers, you can see, will be retracted here soon in the next minute.
Gathered down at the control, and there's
Even
the
more now.
crowd. Yeah, now it's 4:30 in the morning here on the West Coast, but the crowd is already starting to gather here at SpaceX headquarters. But interesting note, normally those cargo dragons landing over in the Pacific, been a couple of
See the first umbilical tower.
Let's look at some launch footage from the previous 9 WGS launches, all atop United Launch Alliance, Atlas V, and Delta IV rockets.
Projects are coming home
Now just under 30 seconds from launch.
Also bringing home a couple of radiation monitors. We're going to have a fan pump separator.
Ground booster ignition. Dina Cook and Alexei Ovchinin now on their way to the International Space Station.
So the next milestone we have coming up.
10 seconds, parameters are nominal. This is for Launch 1, everything.
Good first stage performance so far. The Soyuz delivering 930,000 pounds of thrust from its 4 boosters and single engine. The first stage of the Soyuz measures 68 feet in length, 24 feet in diameter, burning liquid fuel for the first 2 minutes 6 seconds of the flight.
Everything is nominal on board. The crew feels great. 40 seconds. The vehicle is stable.
Delta IV rocket carrying the WGS mission for the United States Air Force.
1 minute into the flight, everything looking good so far. The vehicle itself is now traveling at more than 1,000 miles per hour.
Is a nominal. Copy all. This is for Launch 1. Everything is nominal on board. The crew is feeling well.
As we lose sight of the vehicle, transitioning to an animation, everything looking good so far. This first stage with the 4 strap-on boosters will continue to burn until 1 minute 58 seconds.
80 seconds, everything is nominal. Copy all. The crew is feeling great, everything is nominal on board.
Good reports to the crew. About 10 more seconds of this first stage.
Thermal control system.
Good call that the escape tower has been jettisoned. On time, the 4 booster separations have been confirmed. That core stage continuing on as the second stage. The launch shroud will be jettisoned at 2 minutes 37 seconds into the flight.
The crew is feeling great.
Soyuz vehicle traveling well over 3,000 miles per hour.
140 seconds. The launch vehicle parameters are nominal. Copy all. Everything is nominal on board. .180 seconds. The vehicle is stable.
Good report so far. This core stage will continue to burn until the 4 minute 43 second mark.
The crew is feeling great.
Good reports from the crew. Over 3 minutes from launch, the Soyuz vehicle traveling about 5,000 miles per hour. Stage 56 feet in length, 13.5 feet in diameter with a single engine and 4 fuel chambers providing between 178,000 and 222,000 pounds of thrust for its 3 minute 28 second burn. This stage will continue to burn until the 4 minute 43 second mark. The Soyuz uses what's called a hot staging technique. It'll be, third stage will ignite while the second is still burning.
Everything is nominal on board. The crew is feeling well.
It'll happen in that lattice structure you see at the center of the vehicle of this animation. Over 4 minutes into the flight, everything looking good so far.
This is Delta Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. 2 tests have been run to resolve the issue reported earlier, and both have been successful.
Are nominal.
We are still awaiting an update on a new T0.
Everything is nominal on board.
Four and a half minutes into the flight, everything looking good. About 15 seconds until the ignition of that third stage. Good separation of that second stage.
Second stage separation confirmed. This is Verloc 1. I confirm that. Everything is nominal on board. The crew
We're recommending disabling 2 lines in RLM. That'd be line item 1 and 9. And we've established with the P&E operator also the limits to be monitored to.
We have good third stage separation.
Third stage separation is confirmed.
Stage cutoff and separation occurring.
Borlegs, congratulations on the insertion, orbit insertion. Mission Control Moscow is standing